Hey, my name's Anthony.
My name's Alex.
And we are
the PTA Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the PTA Podcast.
We're back.
Thank you, Alex, for being here. Thank you for your presence.
Back, baby.
You know what's funny?
I'll be back.
Last time we were in the studio,
Yeah.
you were dressed up nicely and I was in the work clothes.
Yeah, honestly, man.
Now the roles are reversed. You're in the
I'm
work
not gonna
clothes and
lie.
I got changed.
I left everything at home today. I woke up and I was so excited to train the clients this morning. That's all I was thinking about. So I just ran out that door.
I swear you are now.
No, I just forgot.
As Johnny Farrow would say,
Khol
Khol
khara.
khara.
We got to get Johnny Farrow on this podcast.
No, we need 4 hours on this podcast if we get him on this podcast.
Shout out to St. Louis and Co.
St. Louis and Co, best barbers in town. Check him out in Kingsgrove, Sydney, New South Wales. All right, the episode today is all around the relationship between training and mental health.
Yeah.
Right? In particular, we're looking at your mental health, your mental well-being. They are deeply connected, right? And the reason why I've got the laptop up and we're going through the notes is because I don't want us to get lost on anything, and I want us to kind of really stay on point, because these points are really important to cover. Right?
Well, it's a very important topic, isn't it? Mental well-being.
I think nowadays, especially over the last 5 years or so, there's been a lot more open talk about mental health.
Yeah.
Right? So no, I lie. Remember the last 10 years, because that's when I've noticed it. Mental health is a big talking point. And there's so many amazing institutes and charities and non-for-profit organizations.
Shout out to Black Dog Institute that we've done work with as well. Amazing organization. Beyond Blue as well.
There's all these helplines, hotlines. There's so many things around, right? And I love them, right? But one of the things that is always overseen and not pressed upon people enough is exercising, training, utilizing a gym, or even just going outside and walking, movement in general. Those things aren't pushed hard enough as a really good thing to help battling mental health and improving your mental well-being.
And it's only come up probably in the last 10 years, 15 at most, from what I've seen, that exercise is one of the biggest ways to battle depression and anxiety. You know?
That's true. Yeah, and the studies support it, so don't get all up and down.
Because of the physiological response that occurs within the body through exercise.
When you say that, because it goes against what we're conditioned to know, right? This isn't, I'm not here to fight, I'm not here to kind of press my claims or whatever it might be. But I know from the studies, from talking to psychologists, all right, so I got my stuff, from the right kind of people, that exercising is a must.
100%
for anybody in general, but in particular for those suffering from mental health, right? Because of what it does to the body, okay? Now, we're going to talk about our 5 top things that improve or in relation to what training does and how it boosts mental health. Number 1 is it reduces your stress through hormonal balance. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of reading and then we'll talk about it a little bit more, okay? So physical activity decreases cortisol, which is your stress hormone, and releases endorphins, which is your natural feel-good chemical. Even moderate training, 30 minutes of strength training, for example, or walking triggers this shift. You're going to walk in tense to the gym, a little bit scattered in the brain, you're going to walk out feeling 10 times better. Right?
I can vouch for that.
That's a fact. Can't argue that. Yep. Also, how people feel supports that as well. Now, a little quote that I found, which I love, is your stress leaves the body 1 rep at a time.
Yeah, I love that. That's mad.
Now, we know this is well documented. Training, you feel better. Nobody leaves the gym feeling worse than they did when they walked in, right? They feel great. And there's a reason for that, right? But delving a little bit deeper into mental health, because what that point says is you're going to feel good after you train. Great. How's it going to help me if I have a mental health battle, for example? I don't call it a problem because it's not a problem. It's a battle. It's a fight.
Yeah, right? Definitely.
What I love as well, which goes into our second point, is it shows you how strong you are when you're pushing through, hard reps, hard sets, and when you're training hard, right? It increases your mental resilience and it improves your discipline. When you can show yourself what you're truly capable of when you when you're subjected to an uncomfortable situation, like, a rep becoming harder as the set goes on, which gets you uncomfortable, you'll be very surprised to see the connection between increased self-confidence, a better self-image, or because you're pushing through what you otherwise would have given up on because it was too hard.
Yeah.
Right? That resilience, that's not a resilience for training. There's not resilience for training and the resilience for life. There's resilience, you have it, or you don't. Right? If you build resilience through exercising, right, you start to teach yourself how to fight or push against what comes across as hard.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? It's not going to be, and it's not as easy a switch as that, right? However, what you do and how you train it over time is you start to show yourself what you can do when you're subjected to an uncomfortable situation, and then over time, as you get better at that, naturally, your resilience is up because your confidence is up in your ability to fight hard situations, right? So the entire reasoning behind why exercising and training at the gym increases mental resilience and discipline is because you need to be consistent. And when you consistently train, it strengthens more than just your muscles, right? It builds discipline, like I said before. You have a routine, you have some sort of control, right? And then you prove to yourself every time you walk into the gym, and most of the time you start proving to yourself with things outside of the gym, because if you have a good coach like PTAs does, you're given a lifestyle plan, not just a training plan.
Yeah, definitely.
You're given stuff to do outside the gym as well as inside of the gym.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
And it's designed to support you inside the gym. Okay? So when you prove to yourself that you can do this on a daily basis, and that you can in particular do hard things on a daily basis and succeed at those, that's another way they're actually building mental resilience and continuing to build your discipline, right? Because those individuals who have given up on themselves have zero discipline as well, because everything's done through emotion and not through logical thinking, right? Because when emotion's present, logic disappears.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
not me poking at people. That's just a fact, and we can all relate to that.
Yeah.
Right?
It's making decisions out of emotion.
What's the third one now?
Turn the laptop. All right, so I actually made a post on this last week as well, how exercise actually improves sleep. And with that, what a lot of people don't realize is that the more you exercise, the more you're obviously creating a healthier body, but you're decreasing your cortisol levels. And when you decrease your cortisol levels, which is your stress hormone, like you were talking about, naturally that's going to then create a better opportunity for you to sleep better. When you're trying to sleep and cortisol is very high, your stress levels are very high, it's very hard for your nervous system to downregulate. And so when your nervous system can't downregulate and you're in bed and you're trying to sleep, well, you're trying to relax, very, very hard to do so. How many times have, say for yourself, right? We use you as an example. You've been in bed, you've had a very stressful day, you've been in bed and you're just staring at the ceiling because your mind's racing and you're just finding it hard to just ultimately just relax, right? I said this to you on the weekend when we were at dinner. The moment I notice that you are managing your stress better is when you're training. When I see you train and when I see you exercise, I see the way in which your body naturally manages stress become so much better, right? And I put that down to the fact that training actually allows you to downregulate, to decrease your cortisol, right? To manage your nervous system as well. And then ultimately that will lead then to a better quality sleep, right? It's very hard to get good quality sleep when your nervous system is very heightened, when your body's very stressed out, right? When you're in that parasympathetic state, sympathetic state, and you're just, your body can't relax. Your body is struggling to relax. And a lot of the time people go, yeah, man, I've noticed, when I train, I'm that exhausted that I just fall asleep straight away. Yeah, you're more tired because you've exerted energy 100%, but internally you're actually, again, like I said, you're down regulating, you're decreasing that cortisol, you're down regulating, you're giving your body an opportunity to want to relax and then go into that deep, good quality sleep.
And then off the back of that as well, when you look at getting good sleep or, improving your sleep quality, it has another domino effect on your ability to make better decisions.
Exactly right.
You're not making decisions under fatigue.
Exactly
You're
right.
not making decisions because based on you being tired and somewhat emotional.
Yeah.
Right. And therefore not making the logical decision that you should be making.
And then we know when obviously you don't get a good quality sleep, you're then stressing your body out even more. And then
it's a cascade of
you start craving terrible food.
Just a negative cascade of things.
And so it's just this negative domino effect that keeps rolling, You're too tired, you don't end up training, or you don't end up exercising, you don't end up going for your walk, you don't end up going to the gym. And so it's just this negative cycle that is on
what I
repeat.
say to people that come in to the gym, they go, Anthony, I'm so exhausted. I don't know if I can follow my program today. Can we go lighter or can we change what we're doing? I said, that's cool, we'll do whatever you want. I go, all I want you to do first is start warming up. Warm up, like do the warm up. Come and say, for example, that I have squats. Come and do the squat. Start with the empty bar and let's warm you up. And then I want you to tell me how you're feeling. If you're not feeling it, if you got aches and pains or your just body's not there today, 100%, I don't care, we'll change it. But I just want to see how you feel.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, the client sticks to the program and does it because they feel good because they've just simply started moving, started exercising. And they got the blood flow and they feel more alert, more awake.
They're more, exactly right, they're more awake.
This is why I was saying before, you're going to walk in, you're going to leave feeling better than you did walking in.
Always.
Right? The odd one, which is no problem, Anthony, I'm really stiff in the back or the hips or the knees. Squatting just isn't feeling good today. Okay, let's go do some upper body. And then we'll finish off with a bit of extra rehab, lower body work. And let's see, make sure you feel okay. I want you to feel good walking out, right? But we just work it, yeah? And even those people that just kind of have that those aches and pains for whatever reason, they do what they need to do and they trust us enough to listen. They walk out feeling great and they come back the next session and smack their squats out really, really well.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Right? And that's if that was prescribed to them.
Now, just on that, to the listener as well, I know a lot of people may think, oh, it's easy for us to talk about this stuff because, you guys live in the gym all the time, But ultimately, we're business owners. We are just as tired as every other individual, right? We understand that everyone has a lot of stuff going on. We have a lot of stuff going on. We're human beings as well. We've got our own personal lives to deal with also. We have our own stresses. We're up at 4:30 in the morning pretty much every single day. We're finishing at 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, sometimes 9 o'clock at night. You finished last Thursday at 9 o'clock at night, right, after the info session that we had.
9:30 I left.
There you go. So we're tired as well. There's days where I look at you and I'm like, bro, I don't even want to think about training right now. And you look at me and you go, the same thing that you say to the clients, you're going to feel better, bro, when you get it done. And then halfway through my session, I've got the biggest pump. I feel hectic. And I'm like, you know what? Thank God I did this. Right? It's the exact same concept. No, true, but honestly.
No, who is that? I feel hectic.
Yeah, I just got to add the liver twist on it. No. But ultimately, we feel it too. So we understand. And the reason why we love talking about these topics is because there's things that we go through as well.
People sit there and say, oh, you're in the gym, it's easy for you to say that. They're the ones that are that close-minded that don't want to take responsibility for the fact that they actually have a decision that they can make and they don't want to take ownership.
When I was prepping when I was doing bodybuilding, so many people said, oh, it's easy for you to do bodybuilding, but you're in the gym all the time.
Shut up,
I'm like, bro,
please, man, shut up.
If anything, it's harder.
Plus doing a 50-hour week, shut up.
If anything, it's harder. It's a lot harder because
you're going to get me started, don't get me started.
So what I'm trying to say is we hear you, we get you, we are experiencing the exact same things as you, and
don't make assumptions that you think you know our lives because you don't.
We can honestly vouch for understanding that exercise, whatever way, shape or form it is, whether it's going for a walk, being inside the gym, doing, mobility work, it doesn't matter what it is, any form of exercise is going to yield a really good result when it comes to your mental well-being, when it comes to improving sleep, and just when it comes to improving overall health.
That's a good point. It also helps with your circadian rhythm, which is that sleep-wake cycle. Right? And like I said before, it just means that it kind of exhausts you enough you don't overthink at night because you're too tired to think. Helps you get a better sleep, wake up feeling better. The other point is it boosts brain function and focus. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about this one. Now, boosting brain function and focus is really important because the people that we deal with on a daily basis, 98% of them are high-level thinkers.
Yeah.
The ones that aren't high-level thinkers are the ones that don't necessarily have big goals and aspirations, right? And I'm not going to name names because I don't want to offend anybody, but Alexander, no, I'm kidding.
Threw me under the bus.
There's those kind of people that you try to, and they understand and they value what exercising does for them, not just physically, but also mentally.
Yeah.
Right? I put a story on my Instagram a couple of days ago, last night, sorry, about the fact that I had a really stressful day. I just didn't know how I was going to get through my training session. I had no idea how I was going to be able to power through this training session. But I just thought, you know what, I'm going to get in there, I'm going to get started, and whatever happens, happens, right? But what it did for me as a byproduct was give me a really good level of energy, give me good focus, and good. I was able to have a really good positive attitude going into the certain sales consults, right? And I wasn't sending people to the gym. I was sending people to a different company that I'm building, which is a much, much higher price point. So I'm having a much, much higher conversation with these people, right? Which required me to be the best version of myself because I'm dealing with people that are earning 8 figures in their companies, right? So these guys are like, if you're going to take an hour of my time on a Tuesday night, you better make it worth my while. Yeah. So I had to go in prepared, right? And I'm so glad I trained because it got me prepared.
Got the brain juices flowing.
Yeah, it got me prepared. Yes, I sold all 3 of them into some of my coaching, but the point of what I'm trying to get at is the only reason why I was able to do that and be successful, I put it down to the fact that I had the right kind of energy going into that because of the fact that I exercised and I prepared myself as best as I could. If I went into there not exercising, it would have been all over my body.
Yeah, definitely.
As much as I would have tried to fake it and pump caffeine into my system to wake up, it wouldn't have the same effect because it would have worn out, right? And I would have felt like shit. I would have presented myself like crap, and maybe 9 times out of 10 I wouldn't have got those kind of people.
Yeah.
Right. So exercising is actually helping me build the life that I want to build because of what it's doing for me mentally.
Yeah.
Right? I don't really, not fascinated with having abs anymore. I'll get them tomorrow if I want to. Well, not tomorrow, but I'll get them, you know what I mean, if I really want to. But the point is, I don't care about those things. Yes, I need to have a healthier body, but I also need to have a clear mind, right? I got big responsibilities. I got big things I'm trying to build. I have a son that I want to be good for, right? So I have a lot on my plate. Me exercising is going to allow me to continue to be the best person that I can for those things. And these are conversations I have every day with anybody who does a consult with me. Even my coaches, I go, why the fuck haven't you trained this week? And they look at me. I go, you need to train this week. I'm tired. So am I. Get in the gym.
Gotta lead by example.
You need to be the person that does what they say is good to do. Because in our industry, if you're not, who's going to listen to you?
Yeah, definitely. I've always used the example of if you have, a personal trainer that's, lives an unhealthy lifestyle, is overweight, doesn't look after themselves, compared to a personal trainer or a coach that looks after themselves, leads by example. They both have the exact same knowledge, exact same education, exact same qualifications, but by eyesight, who you're going to go for or who you're going to lean towards the most, right? We need to lead by example.
The reason why that's important as well, I don't judge people based on how they look, right? So don't get Alex twisted. He's trying to talk about the mindset behind people. If you want somebody to help you, you need to know that they're practicing what they preach because that shows a level of integrity.
Exactly right.
Right? If somebody doesn't practice what they preach, they're just saying it for what reason? To get you to buy from them? Right? So why would I trust you then?
Yeah, exactly right.
So how do you know this is going to work for me if you're not even doing it? How would I be able to promote my meal prep company and make it as successful as it is if I don't even use it? Right? It looks better if I use it. I mean, I love using it because the meals are beautiful. Yeah. Right? How would I be able to build my protein powder company if I don't even use it? If my clients don't even use it? Well, because I made it, here, buy it? No. Do you get what I mean? You need to kind of have this sense of, okay, he's practicing what he preaches.
Yeah, exactly right.
Or he's proving that what he's saying actually works. Right? The last one, team, is it improves your self-esteem and confidence. And we spoke about that in dribs and drabs in the previous points. Now, improving your self-esteem and confidence, especially in your body, and all for the ladies out there, this is an important one. Ladies, you need to understand, I'm not talking on behalf of women here. I'm going to talk on behalf of the men. We suffer from body dysphoria. Dysphoria? Is that what it's termed as?
Body dysmorphia.
Dysphoria. Even this guy's laughing at me. We suffer from body image issues just as much as you do because we have this conception that we need to look a certain way, right? So not conception, perception that we need to look a certain way, right? And if we don't look a certain way, it's going to affect our confidence.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? There is always a saying, the guy that walks into the room who's for lack of a better term, fat, ain't going to get attention the same way a guy that walks into a room who's got a good physique on him and he's got his head held high. And the reason for that is because of the energy that he gives off with the confidence that he has in himself. Right? So ladies, don't get it twisted. This affects us just as much as it affects you.
And yeah, man, like, touching on confidence, you know, I'll use myself as an example. You know, I was always the skinny kid at school, very, you know, shy. You can vouch for me as my brother. I was very shy, very quiet growing up, and it wasn't until you threw me into the gym and I started to build that confidence in myself through being in the gym, because I started to get stronger. I started to see my body develop, started to build muscle. And then I just became this.
I created a monster.
Badly, I became this spastic.
You're my
and
Frankenstein.
Bad. But I built so much confidence in myself because I saw what I was able to do with my physique. You know, through playing rugby league, through you know, bodybuilding, now through powerlifting as well. I've been able to kind of share my story with a lot of the guys and even the girls as well on just how much confidence you can get out of a steel barbell and what that does for you, not just so much in the gym, but the outside of the gym. I put down a lot of the discipline that I have now, I put down to my rugby league days, because I was, you know, playing representative rugby league at a very young age, at 13, 14 years old. And so I needed to understand a level of discipline that was required to be a top tier athlete at such a young age.
We had a good dad as well that supported us through that.
Yeah.
Right? You in particular, with that, because you went to a much higher level than I did, right, with rugby league. So we had a good dad that supported you, right? He took you wherever you need to go, whatever time of the day, any day of the week. That played a big role. He made sure you were in bed early. He made sure what you were eating was good. He made sure that you were training really well. So you had a lot of that as well. But what it did for your confidence was it just made you happier.
Yeah, 100%.
Right, which showcased in your confidence in other areas.
It ultimately just showed me from going from this, again, shy, quiet, young boy to, now you know what? Like, bro, back yourself. Like, you can trust yourself, back yourself, because you're showing yourself that you can do things that you never thought you could.
Yeah.
Right. I remember the first time I ever lifted 100 kilos off the floor, I felt like I was Superman. Right. And then, you know, the numbers kept increasing, the strength kept increasing. And I kept thinking to myself, if I can do this and, you know, take myself to this level, you know, to the point where I was competing at nationals in Brisbane last year in powerlifting, right? Imagine where I could take myself if I just back myself. And that's what it comes down to. It's just when you walk in front of that barbell, and this is how I perceive it, and I try to express this to as many individuals that are getting into strength training as well. If you can back yourself to lift this heavy weight that you thought is completely impossible and lift it off the floor and you achieve that, and all it came from was just having that confidence and believing in yourself enough to do it, imagine what you could do in your actual life outside the gym if you just believe in yourself for a second. And that's the confidence that you get out of the gym. And it's something that you taught me from a very young age. The barbell will always remain as just a barbell. It's you who changes, right? The barbell never ever changes. It's still a 20-kilo barbell with some rubber bumper plates on either side. But you are the one that changes. So what are you going to do to ensure that that barbell gets from point A to point B? Are you going to change, or are you going to go into your day every single time with the same confidence every single time?
An ex-colleague of ours taught me that, gave me that piece of advice, and it really stuck with me, and it helped me a lot. Now, I want to just mention one other thing before we end up the episode today. When people, a lot of people mention exercise as therapy. The gym is my therapy, right? And then you have this argument about people that get really angry about it. No, the gym isn't therapy. Therapy is therapy. And I think those people that are saying that are kind of mistaking the fact that the gym can actually help you, right? It's never going to replace a therapist. We get that. It's never going to replace a psychologist or psychiatrist. But what if it meant that you didn't have these negative thoughts in your mind for the other however many days before you saw your psychiatrist or psychologist again? What if? Yeah. What if it built on what you're already working on with your psychiatrist or your psychologist or your therapist? What if? So in my opinion, and people can agree or disagree, everyone has the right to their own opinion, I just don't listen, right? The gym is therapy. because of what it did for me. I've never seen a psychiatrist or psychologist, but I had some dark thoughts. Even recently had dark thoughts, right? The gym has been my therapy, right? I was staring failure in the face, and I've mentioned on a different podcast episode what I was dealing with. The gym helped get me through it, right? It helped relax me so I could think more clearly, because I wasn't stressed or as stressed, and I wasn't as emotional. So my irrational thinking and irrational things weren't present. My logical thinking, therefore my logical approach, and what I was saying I was able to use those things and make better decisions, right? I was also able to showcase that to myself that I can still do what's important to me even though there's chaos around me, right? So I truly believe that the gym is therapy for anybody who wants to look at it and deem it as therapy for themselves. Does it replace the therapist? No. And those people that get upset about the way that it's been worded, they're just arguing semantics, which is just opinions at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So...
And look, we're not the only people in the world that are going to say the gym is therapy, because there are so many people in this world.
Even if there weren't, I don't care. Like, I really don't care, because this is my experience I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it was
definitely.
therapy for me.
Definitely.
It was going out and just making myself feel better, building a stronger version of myself, because that allows me to be more confident. If 100%. I'm this tired, weak guy with aches and pains all over my body, it's going to affect my confidence.
Yeah.
Period. There's no opinion on that. That's my opinion. Right? And obviously science backs it because of what strength training does for aches and pains and weakness. But essentially, this is what happens when you exercise. And when you exercise regularly, it plays a huge role on how your mental health is.
Definitely.
Argue it all day. I don't care. Facts are facts. I don't care about your feelings. Right?
Definitely.
It does play a huge role, and it will always play a huge role.
Definitely.
This is why I say exercising is so much more than weight loss and building muscle.
Yeah.
This is the biggest reason why I always say that. Right? So when you think of it from that lens, should everybody exercise, Alex?
100%.
They should. For a multitude of reasons relating to health, mental well-being, fat loss, building muscle, immune health, the list goes on.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? We would have no frail old people who are hunched over like a bent fishing rod on their walker, and they can't even lift their head up because their body's that deformed because of all the years of neglect. If they were all told by their doctors, go and exercise. You need to exercise.
Yeah, definitely.
We would have none of that. We would have no sick people if they were told to go and exercise and eat better foods. Right? Everyone knows it, though. No one can be bothered for it.
That's the sad part.
Why? I don't know. Maybe people are just more comfortable being in the shit position that they're in or feeling like crap all day because it's easier to deal with that.
That's a whole nother podcast.
It's harder to face their demons and actually move forward.
That's a whole nother podcast topic in itself.
That's my opinion. But anyway,
we're
going to leave it at there, guys. Thank you for tuning in. As always, thank you for the support. Like, comment, share, any feedback, any topics you want us to talk about. We're always down to listen. Thanks very much.